What is disrespect in a marriage?
All right. So what is disrespect in a marriage to you? Can you give me 3 examples? I know the easy go-to is cheating. But tell me what other things could be disrespect in marriage.
Disrespect.
I'll give you
in
that
marriage.
first one. You can have that first one if you want.
If you belittle me, that's disrespectful.
Belittle.
Yes. Like talk down to me.
Okay. If you feel like I belittled you, that word needs to start with feel, because what you feel like is belittle. I'm not thinking I'm belittling.
So if I feel like you belittle me,
yeah,
that's disrespect.
that feels like disrespect.
Yes. And if you make decisions, all decisions without even checking with me.
If you feel like I'm always making all these decisions,
Yes.
and not checking with you,
Yes. That's
which is another form of
disrespect.
making you feel belittled, make you feel insignificant.
Right.
Okay.
Like, for example, I'll give you an example. Somebody just landed from Nigeria.
And we're gonna go pick them up
And
at the
they
airport.
just tell me, babe, my
Papa D.
cousin just landed at the airport, where he's going to stay for 2 weeks. Like,
Right.
you made that decision without even checking with me. Like, I'm not prepared at all.
Right.
What does that make me look like? That's a surprise.
It makes you look like a lady,
Like-
a woman who's supportive of the husband, no matter what. No.
Even if I agree, what about making sure this person is well settled in the house? Preparing a place for this person to sleep.
What if I worry about that? You don't worry about that.
No. It's still you just can't spring that on someone. That person is coming into my space. I need to know. I need to be mentally prepared for that. So for me, stuff like that can be disrespectful.
All right. Yeah, that's a good point you just made. And I know I kept pushing that feel, right? I want both men and women, especially men, because men don't tend to pay attention to this part. If she feels disrespected, it is just as good as disrespect. It's unfair, I know. Okay? But here's the thing about love and war. All is fair.
Okay.
Okay. How can she just randomly feel disrespect and that's just disrespect? That's just how this thing goes. Because the same thing would apply for you too.
Yeah.
If you feel that she's disrespectful, that's disrespect, right? Yeah. Now, there are ways you are attracting the disrespect, right? Even on your part. In that situation, why is it that your men feel like you can just randomly pick people up at the airport, right? Obviously, there's no conversation that's ever been had about that. So now if you become the victim, it's going to be hard for you to have conversation because you're assuming it should know. Right? You have these expectations that it should know better, but obviously with this evidence we have, it doesn't. Right? It doesn't see it as it depends on how people are raised. Some people, the way they are raised, they have family living with them all the time. They always have people in their house. They attract a lot of people in their house. It's not a big deal that somebody is.
They grew up with a
breathing down
family.
their nose.
Yeah,
you know.
I didn't grow up like that.
Me either. I need my space.
Grew up with my own personal space.
Yeah. So, but people grow up in different ways.
Right.
If you've never had conversations about that, and then you get angry about that, that's assumption, that's expectations on your part. And if you are operating in that way, then you're not in a space where you can literally say, "Hey, babe, I know we've never had this conversation before. Next time, can you
give me some heads up?"
Yeah, like I would like to have.
This person got on the plane from Nigeria, landed.
Yeah. And then he feels in a space and he says, "Babe, I'm so sorry. You're right. You're right. He told me about 3-4 weeks ago. I should have told you. It just kind of skipped my mind."
I forgot.
That's obviously a sign that him forgetting that he didn't see it as a big deal, right? But after that conversation, it continues to happen.
But because I'm the man now. What do you mean? I pay the bills in this house.
Well, It usually doesn't work like that. See, that's the exaggeration that comes from
That is
women.
my exaggeration.
It usually doesn't. The way it works is that expectations and assumptions, and never really having this conversation. I believe that having this conversation is like winning the battle of marriage 90% already. The rest of it is application, right? But just being open, like me and you, we even if we don't turn on the camera right now, we have these conversations easily, right? But many people don't. Right.
Okay. Maybe.
So
that's what
if you remember that many people don't, right?
Okay.
It's not just saying I'm gonna punish you and bring up everything. No, it's not doing that. It's the question that have you, in that first time that happened, did you get angry or just like he just doesn't know? Let me give him some grace. I'm gonna have this conversation.
Right.
Did you do that? There's a good chance you did not. Rightfully so too, because you were raised in a way. So the way you're raised, you project it on other people, and you expect them they should know these things. But it's okay now. We're having the conversation now, right? It's about when things like not just this particular type of example.
Right.
Any examples like this that make you feel disrespect. At least the first time, you want to not be a victim. Because if you feel like a victim, you're not going to do anything right. Because rightfully so, because you're a victim. You're angry, right? But if you give grace, when a powerful person gives grace, when you have power, you give grace, right? And even if you've given grace a few times, it's still a matter of communicating and saying, hey, I've told you this 3 times and you did it again. Here's the consequences of doing that again. I don't know what the consequences are, but there must be consequences, because if there's no consequences, human beings, they don't change. They don't do, quote unquote, the right thing when there's no pain or pleasure attached to it.
So human beings are like goats.
No, they're just
if there's no consequences,
human.
they'll keep doing it.
They're just human. He's gonna be disrespectful if he feels right.
If he gets away with it.
Well, why do you think he's picking up somebody from the airport to bring home to you? He's feeling like he's contributing. That's a basic human need. He's contributing to another person, even though he's taking away from you.
Yes.
But he doesn't see that. You don't see it either, because if you see it as that, maybe it'll be easier for you to apply grace and then communicate and say, for me, it doesn't work. I would like you to let me know. That way we can choose if I'm in that space. Because people can always find other places to go to. They can always find other alternatives if you couldn't help them. But if you haven't communicated, you just get angry. Some people get angry. They don't even talk about it at all. They just get angry. They go in the corner. What's wrong? Nothing. What's wrong? Nothing.
You're extra.
But this is how, see, I like to bring it out how it happens instead of preaching. This is how it goes down. Am I lying? Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's how it happens, you know.
This is how it goes down.
When you're not on the same page, you're not on the same team, because why would someone go to the airport and pick somebody, some random person, and bring them to your home if you guys are on the same page?
Yes.
You guys are not clearly not on the same page.
So if you're not on the same page, it's very easy for any random simple things to come off as disrespect.
Right.
What is disrespect? We don't know. What is disrespect for this person can
It's
be different for you.
It is.
So if you haven't taken the time to have this type of conversations, not when things are going down, not when there's crisis, but even just on a regular day, we slot the
Just
TV
talk
on
about
and
it.
just watch YouTube channel Lola Ola and just chat about this stuff. It's not about right and wrong. You could have a different opinion. It's not about agreeing with Ola or Lola. It's about having these conversations. When you have these conversations, it's very hard for the devil to creep into your marriage, because you're every now and then you're having this conversation. But when you don't have these conversations at all, you shy away from this kind of conversations, then that creates blind spots.
Yes. I agree.
You know?
I agree.
So that's the thing that I think is going on. Disrespect is not something that's some 24-year-old girls labeled as disrespect. That's not what that is. It's whatever the person that's receiving on the other end as disrespect is. When you subscribe to a marriage with them, whatever they feel as disrespect, it is what it is. That's how they feel. And if you're not having conversations about it, how are you going to even know how to adjust or compromise a little bit to make sure they're feeling comfortable?
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.